guys, welcome back to the Curl Factory. It's Raquel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving tips on high porosity as well as low porosity hair. I've already loaded a video on what is hair porosity, and in that video, I show you how to test your hair's porosity. So I thought today I'll give you guys some tips. Before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our social media. Also, I load brand new videos on Mondays and Thursdays. The first tip has to do with deep conditioning. When you're deep conditioning, try and use a deep conditioner that's very thick and very heavy. Thicker, creamier deep conditioners work well on high porosity hair. Also, when you're rinsing your hair after the deep conditioner and also after shampooing your hair, please use cool water to try and close the hair cuticle. Because if you have high porosity hair, your hair dries faster, so you want to close that hair cuticle to keep your moisture in. Tip number 2 has to do with heat. Guys, lay off the heat. Heat has the ability to break your hair and make your hair very fragile. So when you're applying heat to high porosity hair, you're opening up that cuticle so much, causing your hair to be a lot drier, more brittle, and more exposed to breakage. Tip number 3 has to do with detangling. When you're detangling your hair is usually very wet. And when your hair is wet, your cuticle once again is open, making your hair extremely fragile and prone to breakage. So while you are detangling, be very gentle. One of the most important forms of detangling is to finger detangle. So bear that in mind when you are detangling. While detangling, also try and find conditioners that are very thick and creamy as well. Like with the deep conditioners, high porosity hair works very well with thicker products. Tip number 4 has to do with protein. When you have high porosity hair, because your hair cuticle is open most of the time, the protein from your hair escapes. So try and do some really good protein treatments every 6 to 8 weeks. You can use the Palmer's protein pack, Apogee, different types of protein treatments, but bear in mind that when you have high porosity hair, you need to do your protein treatments. And the last tip that I have for high porosity hair has to do with the products that you use. Buy products that say things like butters and puddings, things that are very heavy in nature. The reason that I've been saying use heavier products is because if you use products that are very lightweight on your hair, they're going to escape a lot quicker through your hair shaft, leaving your hair extremely dry and very frizzy. So try and use heavier products. When it comes to using natural oils, use heavier oils as well, like coconut oil and avocado oil. Those also are really going to keep the moisture inside of your high porosity hair. Now I'm going to give you guys some tips for low porosity hair, and I'm going to start with clarifying how to clarify low porosity hair. It's very important to make sure that you clarify your hair, because when you have low porosity hair, you get lots and lots of product buildup. And when you have product buildup, it's going to prevent your hair from really taking in any moisture, because it has that barrier of all of that product buildup. Therefore, it's going to be very difficult for your hair to absorb any type of moisture, be it from water or even your different types of conditioners. So make sure that you clarify your hair once a month if you're co-washing, and sometimes if you feel you need to clarify twice a month, then do so. You can use clarifying shampoos. Shea Moisture has clarifying shampoos. You can also use the bentonite clay. It does a good job at clarifying low porosity hair. After clarifying your hair, follow up with the protein-free conditioner. Miele Organics has great protein-free stuff, so make sure that you are following it up with the conditioner that is protein-free. Also, if you have low porosity hair, use warm water, because warm water is going to help to open up the hair cuticle, making your hair more susceptible to moisture. So try and use warm water, not hot water, just to help your hair absorb that moisture and absorb more products. Moving on to deep conditioning, it's very, very important if you have low porosity hair because deep conditioning really helps to moisturize your hair. While deep conditioning adds some heat to help, the deep conditioner really get into that hair shaft. You can sit under a hooded dryer, you can use a hot hair deep conditioning cap, you can also just use a shower cap or a plastic bag. So add some heat to your deep conditioning routine. When it comes to your leave-in conditioners, try and use protein-free leave-in conditioners as well as conditioners that are water-based. Water-based leave-ins are really going to help retain as well as add that moisture that your low porosity hair needs. And lastly, the types of products to avoid if you have low porosity hair. Avoid heavy oils, avoid products that have protein in it. Also, try and avoid silicone-based products as well as co-washing. I know that co-washing is great, but maybe co-wash once a month or twice a month because, as I mentioned, that product buildup can really affect getting moisture inside of your hair. So please bear that in mind, guys. Co-washing is great, but if you have low porosity hair, it can cause you some problems. And we've come to the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these tips on low as well as high porosity hair. I know that sometimes it can be very difficult really finding out how to handle your high or low porosity hair. I hope you enjoyed it once again, and I load brand new videos on Mondays and Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our social media. Take care.